I don't want to say that I have an obsession with news stories and documentaries about missing children, but I will say it, I have an obsession with news stories and documentaries about missing children. I'd been meaning to watch a documentary about Shannon Matthews for quite a while, never got round to it. Finally did. I wanted to watch The Moor Side, which was I don't want to say an adaptation, an interpretation of the story. It wasn't available, so I ended up watching Shannon Matthews' The Mother's Story, which was on Channel 5, and I will link it below. And this basically tells the story after Karen Matthews, Shannon's mother, was released from prison. And it's definitely an interesting look at it. So very briefly, in case you are not aware of who Shannon Matthews is or what this story is about, in 2008 Shannon Matthews, a little girl, went missing. And then it transpired that actually she was hiding in the bedroom of a friend of the family, or like a distant relative. It's a very odd dynamic. And the mother apparently knew about this all along, and it was a scheme to try and make money from the public. I know, not really pleasant, is it? Wasting valuable police time, wasting publicity, wasting donations and money, wasting attention that could have been put on other missing children. All of that is disgusting in itself. And then you get to the fact that that mother did that to her own child. One of the main focuses of this documentary is the mother of Karen Matthews' state of mind. There's a lot of talk about how she is a child trapped in a woman's body, and that she wouldn't have had the mental capacity to execute this kind of scheme on her own, and there was somebody else involved, but we've never known who else has been involved. And I should point out, this documentary aired in, I think, 2017. There could be new information that's come to light since then. I will be doing extensive research once I turn this video off. Probably should have done it before. But even if it is a slightly out-of-date documentary now, I think it's brilliant and well worth the watch. It's by ITN Productions, as I said, for Channel 5, and it mixes interviews with friends and family members of Karen Matthews with criminologists and journalists who were heavily invested in the case at the time. We have archive footage from the time. We have clips from The Moor Side, that drama that I was talking about. And I feel like the pacing is really good, the development is really good. I think it was an hour long. And my big I had two questions when I went into this. One was, could somebody who'd never heard of Shannon Matthews be able to follow this? Absolutely. Even though it's all about her mother once she was released from prison and looking back, you could definitely get a really quick recap of Shannon Matthews and who she is and what her story was. And the second question was, is this going to plug gaps in my knowledge? And yes, it did. That's not to say that it didn't leave me with questions. I still want to know who else was involved, why, what moment sparked the decision to kidnap and drug their own daughter. I didn't mention that she was drugged for several months leading up to the kidnapping. And the other thing that I really needed from this documentary was I needed it to address Madeleine McCann, because this happened in February 2008, and Maddie McCann went missing just under a year previously, and obviously there was a lot of money, a lot of donations for people to come forward with information for that. And this documentary rightly did point out that it's probable that that media attention sparked the desire in Karen Matthews and whoever her counterpart was to kidnap their own daughter to get the money and split the reward. Something I was particularly pleased with that I wasn't expecting is that we get to hear the initial 999 call that Karen Matthews makes to the police to report her daughter missing, and they do a little bit of analysis on that, on her tone, her word choice, and kind of from a forensic psychological perspective, it's very interesting to watch and kind of absorb her state of mind and how she was responding. And it's quite terrifying actually to think that a mother, to anybody really, but a mother could do this to her own daughter. It's voiced over by Sue Johnston. It's very easy to follow. As I said, it's very informative. It takes a new angle. I will watch The Moor Side as soon as I can, really, as soon as it's back on BBC iPlayer, hopefully soon. And I will do some research into where the case is now. I should point out that Shannon Matthews is, she has a new identity. I personally don't know where she is or who she is now. It's not public knowledge, so that's great. I hope she's doing really well. I hope that this hasn't left her too emotionally and mentally scarred. It may well have done. She was very young at the time, but I'm just hoping that, you know, she was put into a good foster care system. May have even been adopted. I'm not sure. She was quite old. Children of that age don't usually get adopted, but I just hope that things have worked out well for her, and I hope that one day we get answers. But in the meantime, I would definitely say give this documentary a watch.